Good evening and welcome to the show, coming to you all week from Grand Bahama. It's great to have you with us. And before, of course, we go on to the show, we want to pay homage to our dear colleague, Darrell Miller, who passed away yesterday. Our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with him. Darrell was always one who encouraged me in the profession and stood by me and just gave me so many words of wisdom straight up to his time when he retired last year from the Broadcasting Corporation. And our thoughts and hearts and our prayers go out to his family and those who remain as we remember his life and legacy, a rich legacy of journalism that he's left. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. We thank God for his life that he has lived. On to our topic tonight. The island of Grand Bahama and the people that live here are doing all they can to erase the stigma left on them for decades now. And while they will never forget the back-to-back beating they took from powerful storms over the last decade, including the worst storm of modern times to hit the Bahamas, Dorian, and the devastation and setback and wreaked on this northern island, the people here choose to focus on what is to come now, that they are pretty much recovering from Mother Nature's wrath. With several years of blessings not to be impacted by any storm, it has given this once thriving piece of paradise the opportunity to rebuild, reinvigorate, and reset. In comes a minister for Grand Bahama, who perhaps knows best and better than most the nature of the landscape of things. She has demonstrated the fortitude to get it done, even in the face of naysayers and those who oppose. And yes, I know you're probably asking right here, oppose? Why would anyone oppose progress and advancement? Then my answer would probably be, that's just the nature of this thing we call politics. But here's what people are finding out every day here on Grand Bahama. Ginger Moxie is not afraid. Ginger Moxie is not deterred, and Ginger Moxie is working for better. She leads a ministry that is single-handedly coordinating multiple projects at the same time, all in an effort to provide jobs, a robust and diverse economy, and new life for what we've called the Magic City for so long. Recently, she spoke with our Northern Service about the transformation taking place. Here's that story on the change in Grand Bahama.
We had to make sure that our people were eating. We had to make sure we provided opportunities for those to be able to take care of themselves and their families. And I think from day one, that's what happened.
September 16th, 2024 marks 3 years since the Davis Cooper administration took office. In that time, the government has focused its efforts on rescuing a nation in crisis. In Grand Bahama, the heartbeat of the island is its people. For Ginger Moxie, that was always clear. So after assuming the role as Minister for Grand Bahama, the work began with helping people.
We focused on how do we ensure that, people had a place to go to in terms of putting bread on the table.
This was especially important in 2021 when the people of Grand Bahama were not only recovering from Hurricane Dorian, but also grappling with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Immediate relief came through legislation.
And so we championed the Evidence Amendment Act. We restored the SIRS order for vehicles, and we also extended it for building supplies.
Efforts to revitalize lost communities with initiatives like the Beautiful Grand Bahama Project, which employed some 500 people, gave a major boost to the local economy.
We returned government services to East Grand Bahama, and that included urban renewal, social services, NIB, the administrators and district offices, and we also distributed relief grants to straw vendors, to junk canoe groups, and we introduced the Empower Grand Bahama Micro Grant Initiative.
Now, 3 years in, work is still happening. In part 2 of our series, the minister expounds on the $2 billion worth of investment projects on Grand Bahama.
Thanks a lot, Rumiko. And stay with us. The Minister for Grand Bahama, she's here. She joins us when we come back. You're watching The Rundown. We're back from Grand Bahama after this.
Yeah, I like Johnny K. Yeah. event, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nietzsche LS, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama G, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Stringer and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Live sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. As a small business owner, it is crucial to define your market. Conduct market research to determine who your ideal customers are, their demographics, and their buying habits. Knowing who your customers are helps tailor your products and services to their needs. This information will help you to create a targeted marketing campaign and improves your chances of success. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit sbdcbahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
Welcome back to The Rundown. So good to have all of you joining us. We are live all week from Grand Bahama. Joining us now is the Minister responsible for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm getting very comfortable in Grand Bahama. Something you're doing here is making me very comfortable here.
Listen here, we are the home of resilience.
Wow.
But we're watching Hurricane Milton.
I know we are. And hopefully we're praying things continue to go in the direction they're going in. And Grand Bahama doesn't have to worry about that. It's been a great season so far.
Yes,
And so I know you guys are on top of things here. Let's talk a bit about the economy, because the big concern has always been Grand Bahama's economy and whether it's struggling or what it's doing. How would you describe the state of Grand Bahama's economy now?
Grand Bahama is on the move. We've bounced back. It's happening. So we do have over $2 billion of investments going on now on the ground. We have the $665 million Grand Bahama Shipyard redevelopment. Wow. We have the $600 million Carnival Celebration Key project. You know, that's phenomenal. We have the $80 million Royal Caribbean MSC ITM project in the harbor. We have the $210 million Freeport Hill campus. We have the $73 million Liverthorne Statoil project in East Grand Bahama. There's just so much happening. Downtown is alive. Downtown was practically closed for over 20 years. You know, you had some businesses here and there, but it was a ghost town. Downtown is alive. We have the Wynn Building, the Grand Union Building. We have parliamentary registration and the public service and labor there downtown. And so government is doing its part, and Grand Bahama is now thriving.
So people will say, okay, great, there's millions, and you said billions of dollar investments. Is that trickling down to the people of Grand Bahama?
I would say that it is trickling down. I know that there are still so many people who are in need, because you have to recognize where we came from. We came from an economy that was basically closed, shut down. We had to recover not just from Hurricane Dorian, but from the pandemic, because we were the island that was shut down the longest. We were shut down first. And before Dorian, we had Matthew and Francis and Jane and Wilmer, and you know, we had hurricane after hurricane. So again, I consider us to be this island of resiliency, and we are doing much better. There's a lot more work that still needs to be done, but we're on the right track. This Davis Group administration is making it happen. From day one, we hit the ground running. We started to be innovative in our approach to how we're going to turn the economy around. And now, you know, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel heading in the right direction.
I was at Out of the Sea my last visit getting breakfast, and this lady stopped me. She said, okay, I watch you or whatever. And we started talking. She said, I used to live in Albuquerque. And then she said, then I moved to Nassau. She said, but now I've relocated to Grand Bahama. And she said, can I tell you, this one I told her I got to have on the show sometime this week. She said, I chose Grand Bahama. It wasn't a matter I had to come here. I chose here, and now she said, my daughters have relocated here, who are all adults, because she said, this place is phenomenal. And she started singing the praises of Grand Bahama and why she chose to live here and why her daughters came after visiting and decided they wanted to live here. So it's no longer now what I like to say, the forgotten or abandoned city. People are now choosing to come to Grand Bahama. So something's happening.
Something's happening. You know, development is happening. People can see that, you know, it really isn't as dead as people are saying, and the proof is there. And so that's why I initiated a program called Welcoming Home. And it was to encourage our own Grand Bahamians who would have left the Grand Bahama diaspora to return home. Because with all of these new developments happening, you want to be able to take advantage of it. They're not just job opportunities, but they're entrepreneurial opportunities. Things are really moving on Grand Bahama Island. Really excited about it. And I want all of us to recognize the opportunities that exist and to see how you can benefit from it. So again, to the Grand Bahama diaspora out there, come, return home. And it's happening when I look at the Celebration Key, and we did the tour there the other day. You know, you can see so many people who would have left, who have returned home. Some over 20 years, some over 16 years, they're back home.
Are these just jobs in the tourism sector or construction sector, or are these jobs in a variety of disciplines? A lot of our Bahamians are qualified in so many areas. Is there opportunity for a variety of career opportunities?
There are so many opportunities, you know, because there's so many diverse opportunities that are happening with the hospital, especially, you know, so in healthcare, you know, in tourism, again, in construction, you have so many engineers that are returning home, and we just want them to know that, you know, we welcome them back, because Grand Bahama at one point had a population of 55 to 60,000. We're now down to 47,000.
Wow.
And so we need to be able to have the capacity to be able to take advantage of the opportunities. Because again, when I hear from developers when we meet, they're saying all of this development is going on at once. Are you sure you're going to be able to, you know, meet the demand?
Wow.
And so
that's a new thing to hear.
Absolutely. It's a new thing to hear. It's a good thing to hear. But, you know, we have to be ready. Because again, the cruise port, the Celebration Key, has to be open next year, June. So the work has to continue. It has to happen, because all of these cruises are already booked. It's happening.
Wow.
It's right here on Grand Bahama Island. It's exciting.
Do you have enough work for construction workers?
We have too much work. That's the thing. And so now you find that they have to actually bring people in.
Because there don't be enough construction workers here locally.
A lot of skilled labor that's required to complete some of the projects. That is what we have an issue with right now. So again, we're asking people to return home. And real estate is through the roof right now on Grand Bahama Island.
Really? People are now buying the real estate.
Absolutely.
They see what's going to happen.
They're buying real estate. Actually, the demand is more foreign and Nassau for real estate.
For real estate?
Yes.
People in Nassau recognize what's going on.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know, if you're watching, a good sign of a futuristic bloom or success is when you see real estate begins to change and shift. People get a bird's eye view of what the island or the country is looking like.
Absolutely.
And they begin to take advantage and run in it and buy up the real estate because they figure they're going to develop. And we saw that happening with Exuma. People bought up all the real estate in Exuma because they saw what was happening to Exuma. And so here, that's happening here in Grand Bahama. It says that people believe that the future of Grand Bahama looks really, really bright. So they're trying to buy up the real estate while it's at a good price. Because you know what happens. What happens when the demand comes is the price goes way up.
And it's coming, and it's here, actually. And so the prices are relatively low here on Grand Bahama Island when it comes to real estate. And so I think that's what's happening as well.
You said something important, Nassau, because Nassau people recognize how expensive property is in Nassau. So they're getting the wind and they're saying, you know what, I'm going to buy some property in Grand Bahama. And
it's a great place to grow a family. You know, it's, you know, traffic is pretty okay.
Crime under control.
5 minutes here and there.
You
get to where you're going. So crime is under control, and we're doing really, really well. We have so many amazing initiatives that's going on that is helping our people. while we are growing the economy and creating all these opportunities. So I'm excited about that.
Let's talk about the airport because, of course, a key factor in any destination in tourism or development is a good airport. And I know in the past there were challenges. People said Grand Bahama was one of the most expensive airports in the region as far as fees, and a lot of people were deterred from it. What is happening with airport development, and are concerns like that plagued the airport before going to be addressed?
I think we're heading in the right direction with the airport. When we got into office, there's so much work that needed to be done, and we started working right away. You know, we had an elevator installed at the control tower. You know, we extended the hours of operation.
What are your hours now? You're now open longer than you were before?
Much longer than we were before.
You were closing early in the afternoon.
Exactly.
Now you're into the evening.
Absolutely. And so we've done a lot of work on the airport. We constructed the domestic terminal, got that going again, and we're now in the phase of demolishing the interior part of the international terminal, because we're now looking at it also being used as cargo. So we are in the design phase of the new international airport. But one thing I like to remind our citizens, Grand Bahamians in particular, is that we inherited an airport where the government purchased it, yes, for $1, but inheriting all of the liabilities that came with it. And so we then had to step in and rescue. Because again, there was some insurance money there as well that was, you know, not kept by the government. It was the former owners of the airport that held on to the insurance.
So it wasn't like, okay, we own this airport, let's just rebuild and let's just sell.
Exactly.
There was a lot of logistical things and legal matters that had to be dealt with
Legal
first.
matters, and the fact, even with paying, you know, some of the severance that was owed to employees, that's what we met when we came in. And so we started there, and we started to work with what we inherited and to make it make sense.
All right.
And so now we're heading in the right direction.
We're going to take a break. When we come up and talk about the sale of the Grand Locale, everybody looks at that as if when that happens, then we know the glory days are coming about. Let's talk about that, and then I want to talk about the fact that the statistics, Department of Statistics, are showing the lowest unemployment numbers in years. Let's talk a little bit about that, and the International Bazaar and some other things. You're watching a rundown with the minister responsible for Grand Bahama. We're in Grand Bahama this week. We're back after this. Stay close.
Yes.
TCI, Sunset Village Prescribe presents I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nietzsche LS, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Jokino Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back to the Rundown, all the way from Grand Bahama. We're talking on this first night of our Grand Bahama series with the Minister responsible for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie. And just hearing so much change that's happening, transformation, it really makes you excited. Before the break, we talked about all of that, what was happening, the new exciting movement with the airport, and now, of course, the hotel sale. The Grand Lucayan, for some reason, has people believing if we see this change, then we know the worst is behind, the better days are ahead. Is the government making significant progress with this?
The government is making significant progress. I think the Prime Minister has said as much.
Correct.
But like the DPM always says, I will talk about it when money is in the bank.
Pretty much. But you're optimistic that it's going to be in the bank this time.
Yeah,
because last time it got near to the bank.
Yeah, near to the bank, not in the bank.
But this time you can believe it's going to be in the bank.
Yes. I'm feeling good about it.
And that's good. And obviously people want to know, how is tourism doing? Because that's an anchor project for the island. How is tourism doing in Grand Bahama?
Grand Bahama is actually the fastest growing tourist destination in the Bahamas.
Really?
Yes, it is.
People wouldn't think that.
They wouldn't. It's, it's happening. I think the tourist vendors, the operators, I think they're doing well now. So there's more to come. We're working hard. We're all around promoting Grand Bahama Island as a tourist destination. That's one of the mandates of the Ministry for Grand Bahama. And so it's happening, but I'm excited to know the numbers are there. You can add tourism, it's
Are
there.
these stopover visitors or are these predominantly cruise visitors who come in for the day and leave?
They're predominantly cruise visitors, but they're stopover visitors as well. Okay. I was so happy to see American Airlines this morning announce that they will be increasing flights to Grand Bahama Island.
That's a significant thing.
Yes, that's huge. It's big. So that's a good thing for us. Of course, we know that Westin had started the Fort Lauderdale as well. So I think we're doing well. Of course, there's always more that can come, and that's more will come because we're working hard at it.
Always a good sign of tourism doing well is always, of course, the taxi drivers saying they're happy, the straw vendors or the market vendors, Port Lucaya vendors saying they're getting business. Are they seeing that come to them?
Well, business is happening. I think what happens, though, is that so many of them head to some of the other destinations. Port Lucaya doesn't have as much as all of us would want them to have, and so I think that's still a work in progress. I think as the cruises pick up, as the airport, the airlift picks up, it'll do better. But we have to stay encouraging them. We have to continue working with them. We have given grants in those areas just to support their businesses, and so we'll continue to do that. But yeah, we're working really hard.
And I think the idea is Port Lucaya was really designed for that tourist destination area.
Absolutely.
The hotel properties, Pelican Bay, Grand Lucaya, all the properties in that area. So when there's redevelopment there, that you expect that to spring into action for the
And
board.
through Beautiful Grandmama, we also did reopen the Pop Club. We refurbished it and reopened it to allow, beach passengers to traverse there. And I think that had some impact on the Port Lugaya marketplace. So there are good days and there are bad days. But, it's a work in progress. We'll continue to work.
Unemployment, the Department of Statistics released its survey showing that unemployment is the lowest in years in Grand Bahama. That seems to be impossible.
Yes.
I'm sure you're excited about that.
I'm truly excited about that. And actually, I think there needs to be another survey done, because I think it's even lower than that. Because what's happening now, we can't find enough individuals for certain jobs. And so I think and everyone you call who you may think is not working, they're working now. So maybe there is some underemployment here and there, but for the most part, I think in unemployment is much lower than even the records indicate.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk about the International Bazaar. It used to be a staple on Grand Bahama.
Yes.
It's now not there anymore. What is going to happen there?
The International Bazaar is going to become the Afro-Caribbean marketplace. And we would have already signed a project preparation facility with Afro-XM Bank for the initial design and EIA and financial impact assessment for that marketplace. So that is in progress. That is happening. We're also right now, finalizing the acquisition of the bazaar, the Royal Oasis Tower, and the casino. We are also in the process of completing the design work. I think that's already been done for the reopening of the road.
That's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yes, it's going to happen. And so we are extremely excited about that and what it means, because it isn't just a marketplace in the bazaar with 54 African countries, 20 Caribbean countries, 16 islands of the Bahamas represented.
All in there.
All in there. But there's also the logistics component at the harbor area. Because now we're talking about goods trade between Africa and the Caribbean, and Grand Bahama being used as the platform for that.
That's a whole new sector
that we're opening up. That's a whole new, absolutely. We are the gateway to the Caribbean.
That's amazing, because when you, as a Grand Bahamian, or Bahamian, that's why I say we're opening it up, because as a Bahamian, you're hoping for new diversification of economies, right? Because we recognize that we've been so dependent on tourism for so long, and now as Bahamians to say that we're no more than just tourism, it's really a big opportunity.
And the orange economy, the creative industry. So that's just where all of this come together and collide. So when you have, you imagine Afro beats mixing with soca and junkanoo and reggae and calypso and all of that. So it's festivals, it's arts and crafts and products, the best of what these countries have to offer, and it's happening right here on Grand Bahama Island.
Wow. Garden Villas. Talk about this proposed transformation with Garden Villas.
Okay, so I would have represented the Bahamas at the City Summit of the Americas, and the Cities Forward initiative was launched at that time. It's an initiative that focuses on sustainability, resiliency, and inclusiveness. And I applied for the city of Freeport. We were selected out of 129 cities. Wow. We became partnered with the city of Coral Springs in Florida. And the project that I identified was the Garden Village Project. And this is where we bring garden villas, also known on this island as the ghetto.
So you people around the Bahamas who don't know what Garden Village is.
That is what is considered. It's an impoverished community where, there are tarps on the roof, where no water, no power. Some people go without food. So many of them I have on the Beautiful Grandmama program right now. And it's a holistic approach to revitalizing this community as a smart community, with agri-tech solutions, with a resilience center, with houses that have been repurposed, and we look forward to seeing the transformation of this area that's known as the ghetto into a model community that can be used throughout the Bahamas and even the region.
And this is being assisted by international assistance.
And so the program is spearheaded by the U.S. State Department. It is Resilience Cities Catalyst, the Institute of the Americas, and iCLAY Local Government for Sustainability.
Wow.
So it has international partnerships involved. And of course, locally, we have partnered with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal, the Ministry of National Security when it comes to that Community Resilience Center, and the Ministry of Social Services. So all ministries involved.
So
and actually the Grand Bahama Port Authority as well.
They're involved as well.
They have to be involved because it deals with a lot of, coding issues, building code, zoning. And so yes, we have to work together to make things happen.
Has this begun already, or is this proposed to begin?
It's started already. The government has already finalized acquisition of certain properties in the area. So we're looking at acquiring the Garden Villas properties. There are about 12 lots there. We're acquiring some buildings known as we call them the Bain buildings, some blue buildings in Garden Villas area. We're looking to do some sustainable, affordable homes in the urban renewal land area, and we're looking at acquiring additional properties. So we're working closely with, like I said, all of these ministries, collaboratively, working with our international partners, and also a part of this is to access funding from many of these international organizations to assist with the development of this area.
That sounds exciting.
It's exciting, and a part of it also is we've also always talked about the Savoy building and the Parker building downtown that's looking so good, but we see these two dilapidated structures, and everyone's wondering what's going on. So we've been in communication also through this initiative to see how we can address some of these issues that's been plaguing us for so long, legacy issues that we're fixing.
Wow. I was about to ask you that because there are so many other government initiatives that seem to be taking on and taking place. Are you satisfied that the administration is being able to address some of the legacy issues of Grand Bahama?
Absolutely. We've been taking on, I would say, projects that no one has dared to touch before.
Really?
So I'm excited about what is happening with the International Bazaar. Everyone talks about the bazaar, but no one had the solution, no one had the answer, and it's been, a vexing problem for decades now. And that road opening, that's a big issue for us. We want that road open now, but so we're working on that, and it's a process. So from day one, when I came in, I started to work on that, dealing with the hardcore developers themselves, dealing with those who became responsible for the properties after that it started, and of course dealing with 13 property owners.
Wow. On
the bazaar side itself, that we now have the AG's office in collaboration with, and as well as dealing with the bazaar and the tower, and casino of Royal Oasis. And then downtown, remember, that was a legacy problem as well. It was shut down, it was closed. Now it's back to life. It's thriving, and so I'm excited to see what's happening there. I remember as a child, jumping on the bus, coming downtown, and downtown was the place to be. It's becoming the place to be again.
You're not just a minister for Freeport, you're Minister for Grand Bahama.
Minister for Grand
What's
Bahama.
happening in East End and West End? Are we seeing developments there?
Okay, so in West End, the Obadiah H. Wilshcombe Complex was opened. That's a major achievement for the 8 Mile community, West Grand Bahama. I said they deserve it. They deserve to have a structure like that. And so that's open and running. We're in the process of the Pine Forest Park that's being redone, being developed now. I'm excited about that, and I know the Member of Parliament for that area. He's been speaking about it, and it's happening through my collab initiative. And then we have the police station that's been demolished in West End, and that to put up a new station. Very excited about that in collaboration with the Ministry of National Security. And the Holmes Rock Junior Primary School is finally on the move again. And for certain, September of 2025, that school will be open.
It will open.
It will open. It will open. And so that's awesome news for that community.
I saw you have a new gymnasium there in West as well?
Oh, yes. The gymnasium has been refurbished. It's a gymnasium plus a shelter.
Which is important.
Much needed shelter for the community of 8 Mile Rock and West Grand Bahama, and it's beautiful, beautifully done. Very pleased to see the progress there. And then in East Grand Bahama, I mentioned Littlethorne. That major development is there. Remember, that was shut down. It was closed down after Dorian. Yes, they had employees, but it was not in production. So now it's at the point where they're doing the work, they're completing the work. It's in collaboration with USXM Bank that would have provided funding, and that is happening there. Celebration Key.
Of course.
It's in East Grand Bahama. So that's a massive, major development happening there. And we cannot forget the East Grand Bahama Comprehensive School that's on the drawing board. That's happening. The funding is there for that. And so we know that that is on the way as well. So much is happening. We brought back festivals to East Grand Bahama. We did a lot of work in East. So much attention was placed on East. You know, Pine Ridge, I'm here. I'm looking out for you. A lot of work was done for East Grand Bahama, you know, through the Beautiful Grandmommy initiative. Because when we came to office, vehicles were still in the water.
Wow.
It was very hazardous for, you know, boaters to traverse between Abaco and McLeanstown.
Correct.
And Speeding's Key. And so we took vehicles out of the water. We installed channel markers. We rebuilt the bus stops. We did a lot of work to the memorial sites and beautified them from east to west. You know, we would have empowered so many people. Over 500 individuals have gone through the Beautiful Grandmama program that allowed them to put bread on the table. And Beautiful Grand Bahama East would have been involved in transforming their communities, bringing it back to life, clearing festival sites, causing festivals to return to East Grand Bahama, which is the way many of them make their living. You know, so we've been at it from east to west. Everyone has felt, I believe, the impact of the Ministry for Grand Bahama, the CoLab unit, Partnerships for Development, that is focused on collaborating, not working in silos, bringing all players around the table to make it happen.
I want to tell you about Collab, because I think it speaks to what the work is that you're doing. There's so much you're doing. How do you sleep? My goodness.
I don't.
There's a lot going on. Let's take a look at this story that I think tells us a picture, and we'll talk about it right after this.
So thankful, so grateful for this program. This program actually gave me a sense of hope.
I can truly say that it's done wonders for me and others.
While working with this program, it helped me to learn a lot of things.
We learned trade along the way. We learned discipline. It helped me take care of my family.
The importance of the program is to help people and to make the communities look much better than they were from East End to West End.
And I'll truly say I'll be greatly appreciated if we could move forward and continue on with this program, because it's dealing with success. Success is the key.
They basically take half of the people off the streets and give a job so they can have something to do instead of acting into criminal activities and doing the wrong things that they shouldn't be doing.
Whatever they had going on, like, they put it aside, and it was amazing to watch. You know, like, guys just came to work, do what they had to do, and left.
The fathers on the program, a lot of the men, the young men too, it was so good to hear them say, man, I was able to drop this money off for Lil Mama, and you know what I mean? So it's building back our people's, our young men's ego. It's keeping them away from the trouble. You know what I mean? Because most of the times, the reality is when persons can't provide for their families, they're going to take the next route.
I think what a lot of people don't know and realize is the persons who's working in beautiful Grand Bahama. I had an opportunity to go downtown one morning. And when I started there, I know a lot of the young men who were part of the beautiful Grand Bahama. I saw some in different gangs. And what stood out to me, there was a truck that pulled up, and the rival gang actually ran on the truck and was saying, go over. And they are known young men in Grand Bahama that I know, and they ran in that truck as one. So beautiful Grand Bahama, to me, if we take this concept throughout the Bahamas.
When you look at that, how do you feel?
I'm proud. I'm pleased. I think it's because of the impact it's having on the lives of our people, you know. That's what makes me happy. So, yeah, that's it.
Not every program can be successful, but to be able to get people who perhaps were hurting or didn't have hope, and restore hope while they feel that they can now take care of themselves and not just have a hand out, but a hand up. And to see the collaboration work so perfectly, causing Grand Bahama Island to benefit. Where did that idea come from? I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, boy, that's a winner. Where did the idea of Beautiful Grand Bahama and Collab come from?
There's so many people hurting, you know, and we had to find a way to ensure that they're able to put bread on the table. And I looked at it like this. The government would have to support in any way. Either they'd be on the social services line, or they'd be on that line where they're earning that income, and now they're able to assist with community projects at the same time, and they're now not getting caught up in anything that's illegal, because now they know where that next meal is coming from, that next dollar is coming from. And for me, it was, how do we impact lives in a sustainable way? So many of them now, when they leave that the program, they're able to move on to another job because we've gotten them straight. Now some of their records are expunged, you know, those that had the record. Some of them are now sorted out with their papers, and they're able to move on. So like I said, we've had over 500 in the program now because many have moved on to something even better, you know. And they're also being trained, many of them through BTVI. Some of them got certification that are international certifications. That's what it's all about. How do we empower our people to be able to take care of themselves? And throughout the program, we've been doing projects that leaves a lasting impact on the lives of those individuals and the communities that they impact, because they're doing work in their communities. They're giving back to their communities.
Wow. You have the back of town community.
Yes.
Anything happening for those families in that community there?
Oh, wow, yeah. That is where we have 13 transition homes. We would have used the beautiful Grand Bahama employees to bring these dilapidated police homes back to life. We had homes with the tree coming out of the roof and just totally dilapidated with bush growing all over it. And now these homes are able to help families in need. So they're there for a 6-month period. They're able to, you know, get the support they need, the counseling they need. The children are in school, and so we're making sure they're okay. But it's a hand up. You know, it's a hand up, and people, once they leave, should be able to thrive, and that's what we're working on.
How does that differ from how does Collab and Beautiful Grand Bahama differ?
So Collab is the unit in the ministry, a department that was formed to partner with NGOs, businesses, other government agencies, and the community to assist with the basic needs of residents and for the growth and development of Grand Bahama. So it's holistic. It's not just, I would say, you know, assisting with certain social services things, because everyone comes to the ministry for grandmama for everything, but it's also for growth and development. So where there are issues, we come together and try to solve them. So in our collab room downstairs, that's the meeting place, that's the brainstorming place on if we identify a problem, let's come around this table and let's fix it. Let's, pull in who's required, the various government agencies, the private sector, the community, let's fix it. And that's what Collab is all about.
We're going to take a break and we're going to wrap up and we come back. And I always wrap up when I have cabinet ministers on talking about them as a human being and really a little bit of the political side. We always try to get that in. But we'll do that with you when we come back to wrap up. Stay with us. You're watching The Rundown from Grand Bahama. We're back after this. Stay close.
JMC TCI, Sunset Village Prescribe present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nietzsche LS, Sweet Emily, Fritz Sullivan, Funky D, BVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Gerard Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. From Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Stringer and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Prescribe, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. Build a strong brand. Building a strong brand is crucial for long-term success in today's competitive business landscape. Your brand is more than just a logo. It's the essence of your business. Invest time and effort into developing a strong brand identity that reflects your values, mission, and personality. A strong brand can help you to stand out in a crowded market, build trust with your customers, and foster a long-term relationship that drives business success. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit sbdcbahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest is the Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Marks. We've had an excellent conversation, and I hope you've heard a lot of what's going on in Grand Bahama, because sometimes you don't ever hear the full story of really the transformation that is taking place in Grand Bahama, and I'm glad that she's able to lead off our week series. We're here for the next 4 days with our shows, talking about Grand Bahama and the transformation there. And in this last segment, I'd like to have a little fun when I talk to cabinet ministers, just to really find out what's happening in their communities and their constituencies. You represent Pine Ridge. Pine Ridge includes a lot of those areas where the ghetto, as determined would be, or the impoverished areas, those challenge areas. That's not an easy constituency to represent. How has it been representing Pine Ridge?
I think it's been a joy representing Pine Ridge. No, it is not an easy constituency to represent, but I'm on the ground. You know, I reach out to my constituents, I'm engaged, and my office, along with, myself, of course, where we continuously make things happen. So we do have a Pine Ridge constituency office that's located downtown. And individuals from east to west come to this Pine Ridge constituency office because, we are open from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. And we constantly have events that engage our community. We're out there. We even have the Pine Ridge on Wheels, where we go to the individuals in need. And so it's been, I would say, a challenge in that I am the only minister outside of the capital. And so I'm the one that has to go back and forth a couple times a week sometimes once, in order to address, of course, deal with cabinet and House of Assembly, and I'm a part of NEC, so I do all of that. But Pine Ridge means so much to me, and I'm doing all that I can to ensure that work gets done in Pine Ridge, and we have been working. So in just about every polling division, we have 13 polling divisions in Pine Ridge, work is happening. So in Heritage, right away we were able to advocate to have the road done in Heritage. They asked for two things, the road, and they wanted a park. That's happening. The Heritage Park is on the way. Both sides of the road is being done, and I'm very, very excited about that. Of course, we are also working in the Grenfell Avenue area, where we've had some roads that have never been paved, that's been paved, and we're excited about that as well. There is Garden Villas area. Correct. Of course, we talked about that. That's a whole entire revitalization project. In Hawksville, we have a Hawksville Cultural Village that's coming in the Hawksville area. Hawksville is my constituency. So from Heritage in the east to Hawksville in the west. Wow. It's a huge constituency, 13 polling divisions. We're working on a fishing hole cultural village, bringing that back to life. That's a part of Pine Ridge as well. The sports complex is in Pine Ridge. The airport is in Pine Ridge. Downtown is in Pine Ridge. Pine Ridge is deep, but the key for me is ensuring that we, are there for our constituents. I always see at least, when I'm on the island, at least 10 constituents every day. So it's something that I do. I don't necessarily take the cameras around with me, all the time. Sometimes you just leave it, but that is important to stay connected, to hear what people are saying, to make sure that wherever I can help, that I'm helping. And so Pine Ridge. You got elected on a theme, ginger for the people. Yes. And people always argue that when you become cabinet ministers, you neglect your people. Is it still ginger for the people? It's absolutely ginger for the people. It's always been ginger for the people because, even prior to this, that's what I was known as. Had a non-profit organization that assisted people in need. So that is what I love to do. That's why I'm here, to serve the people. And we are doing that. Team Pine Ridge is also alive and well. We are a group of people that love serving people. And so we continue to do that and to find ways to uplift our people. So we have a 10-point agenda for Pine Ridge. We are executing that. So by the end of the first year, we had already touched on 60% of the items listed in our 10-point agenda for Pine Ridge. But we know that there are a lot of needs. Like you said, it's one of the impoverished communities in the island, many of the polling divisions in Pine Ridge. So we are being very creative, but we want to always perform initiatives that will transform lives. We want them to be impactful. We want it to be meaningful. And so we continue to ask the constituents to support us, to work with us. If there are concerns that they need addressed, continue to reach out to the office, and we will be there to support. I got 2 minutes left, and I'm going to hit it just like how I have known to hit it, and that is when you're doing so much, like you described all that's going on in Grand Bahama. And I surely was an eye-opener and learning experience for me to see so much that's taking place in Grand Bahama. Whenever you're doing so much, there are always criticisms. There are always people that attack. And in this small-knit community where we have social media, people are so responsible, and some of the attacks are deep and they're dark, and they're personal, and they're wrong. But it comes with the territory. What is your response to all that's been transpiring in social media, the negativity, the talk, the constant attacks that, oh, she ain't doing that, no, she ain't go, oh, she ain't know what she's doing, oh, she ain't helping nobody, all this, all that. How does that impact what it is that you do every day? It doesn't. And, it's because you know what you know. and you know that the people whose lives you're impacting, you know they know better. And as I traverse the community, and sometimes when I get on the plane, they say, you are doing an excellent job.
You hear people tell you that?
They tell me that, you know, and oftentimes the people that talk don't live in my constituency. You know, sometimes the people who talk have an ulterior motive. They have another agenda. So, you know, you see it, but, you know, it's like we have to get the job done. And so that's what it is. It's staying focused, you know, staying united, because in unity there's strength. And my team is united, and we will continue to reach out to every constituent, continue to aggressively pursue the agenda of this Davis Cooper administration, continue to action, because that's what it's all about. It's about impacting lives, and that's what we're going to do.
Minister Moxie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And thank you for taking the time. I know this is a busy day, busy week, and you're not one who do the camera thing. You're always busy working.
I'm working.
So I thank you for coming out of the comfort zone to tell really what's going on so people can have first-hand information as to what is happening on Grand Bahama. We are excited. Bahamian people say thank you because we want to see Grand Bahama succeed and win.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you to the Bahamian people. Thank you, Pine Ridge.
There you go. That's it for the rundown on this Monday night. We have stories coming for Grand Bahama all week, and we'll be here to tell the great stories of Grand Bahama. For all of us, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for watching us. Good night.
JBI, lemon and lime.
One of the best products you can find anywhere. This is one of my favorites, and I have lots of favorites at JBI.
This is very rich. I put this at